Hello and welcome back. It's Tom Battinger, not with Taco though. I've got Anatoly. What's your name again?
Hey there, I'm Aggro.
I always have to check with you. I'm not sure which aggro or aggression I have at the desk. So today we have aggro.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't.
No.
You don't recall?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember?
Didn't you make a tweet saying how that you blacked out or something like that? Are you feeling
Oh,
okay?
yesterday?
Are you
Yeah,
feeling okay?
that was really weird. Like I was supposed to play in the Skill Shot versus Pros, and then I just kind of like woke up afterwards, and they said it went okay. So hopefully, everything was cool. Did we win?
No, we did not. We did very poorly, actually. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
It's good that you
I
don't.
did well.
It's good that you don't remember, actually.
I did well.
Did you?
Well. Yeah, I did very well.
How did you do?
I remember your first game.
Yeah, but then I shook it off. And if I continue to play the way that I played later on, then I got MVP. So all I'm saying is if I continue to play...
Oh, yeah, sarcastically, they gave you MVP Game 1. I remember that. That was rough.
But if I continue to play that way, I'm going to trade out this desk for one of the players' desks. I'm going to make my way to HRX, the hard way. But for you, the easy way, you can just buy tickets.
Tom, just in case, you should probably go to hi-rezexpo.com and go ahead and snag yourself a ticket there.
Yeah,
just in case.
just
I mean,
in
not
case.
saying that I don't believe in you, because I totally do, but you probably should just in case. That's
Well,
insurance.
sure. You know what? Maybe I'll do that.
In case you get unlucky, because that's the only way.
I mean, I guess so. I'll have to take a look at that. But of course, I mean, Toly, why don't you tell us about the next promo?
I think the next promo is going to be about the after party. It's always lit at the after party. HRXafterparty.eventbrite.com. 50 bones will get you in the door to Sunday, I believe, on November 18th. Save the date on that one.
Yeah, definitely want to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun last year.
We did. Yes, that unsarcastically, yes.
Aggression was there as well.
Potentially.
Trust me, aggression was there. You too. Consider like an hour and a half into the after party, the aggression meet and greet. That's pretty much what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you can book that on your calendar too. Yeah.
Definitely, that's the official meet and greet for aggression with a 3. Certainly want to turn up
5.
for that one. Is it really?
Yes, of course it is.
Agra-5-shin. You've practiced that way too much. These players have practiced not at all for the most part. Titans and Juggernaughts are going to find themselves in the finals today. You can see how they got there. The Minotaurs had to step down. The Manticores had to step down. Fails still without a win here in the summertime.
Unfortunate for him, but Funball, his teammate, did get a win, and he's moving on up to the finals now alongside his Titan teammates. They looked really, really good. I do think that the Juggernauts might be a little bit more warm because they got an extra game up against their opponents, but these two, I think, were definitely clear favorites.
I mean, Juggernaut struggled a little bit, honestly, against their opponents. Minotaurs gave them that one-game loss, and look how serious and
PolarBearMike,
I can't even take PBM seriously.
He looks like he's going to sell me a candy bar.
But is it actually a candy bar? You don't really know.
Oh, no. Arkkyl and Screammmmm, on the other hand, they might not be bald, but they are the serious-faced players here on the Juggernauts. Collis has been talking about how important his serious bald players were. Arkkyl and Screammmmm, certainly the serious players here. Variety and Hurriwind have been slotted in, and PolarBearMike, the captain of the Juggernauts. Titan across the way, certainly an attractive team as well, headed up by JeffHindla.
And this was the team that was predicted to win based off the fan voting after the draft show.
Yeah,
the combination of Baskin and Zyrhoes, I don't know about you guys, but he was at the very top. Those two players were at the very top of my tier list, being at the S. And it doesn't matter if there's a hunter from SK Gaming on this. The fact that Benji's there alongside them, the silence should be A-OK. I think that JeffHindla has been playing phenomenally today, not just mechanically, but his decision-making, his item builds, been really setting up his team beautifully.
What I really liked about the draft here was that Funball is much better than his team would represent. Like he's a strong hunter. So I think Jeff kind of hid that behind. He let the other hunters go a little bit first and then said, look, I got the other good players and Funball's still one of the best, so I'm going to go with him. Funball's direct lane opponent, though, Arkkyl, he's going to be on a standby. We've got a conversation with him. Let's chat.
All right, guys, looks like you're going to be going up against the Titans. How scared are you for Baskin Jungle?
Seems like he's been playing well this set, so I don't know. We're going to see.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Scream would never live it down, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's not going to do that great, but, who knows? It's Baskin, right? So
Was there anything that you all were able to see from watching their set at all that you feel like might help you all out in this set, in the finals here? We're all going to be able to win. It'll be a best of 5 this time.
They're just like Baskin's playing like the meta junglers and stuff, so not like a lot of surprises on like what they're playing. So the draft should be like kind of easy, I think.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Arkkyl, is it harder than you expected to keep PBM from trolling and inting in your lane?
I'm not sure about this question. He hasn't been trolling at all. He has been trying so much. So
I'm the one trolling then, basically. Yeah, fair enough. All right, guys, good luck against the Titans.
Thanks.
You know, it's rare that we actually do get to talk to Arkkyl. I've had the opportunity to hang out with Arkkyl, you know, outside of the game and everything. And this guy is I need more Arkkyl on camera. He's very honestly funny. You know, he doesn't try. He's just like, look, I don't understand why you're asking me this question.
I thought it was very obvious. PBM clearly inted in their game earlier. That's all I'm trying to say.
I mean, yeah, he definitely inted. We're not going to make any sort of bones about that one. But I like seeing players more in their natural habitat. Whenever we interview Arkkyl, he's a little bit more reserved when he's actually with his team Dignitas in certain lands, when he's hyper focused about winning the land and nothing else is on his agenda. But now a little bit more loosey-goosey at the eUnited Invitational, seeing the real personality from Arkkyl.
Hurriwind just kind of seems like plain old Hurriwind, just doing his thing, you know, being hurry. Any notes on what Tyler has to offer here?
No, I think he played really well during their earlier set today. And going up against Zyrhoes and Baskin together is going to be very, very difficult, of course. But I think that with the changes to how the mid lane are building, with that
That's
Book
scary.
of Thoth, Book of the Dead, he's going to be able to go in looking like that. I mean, he's just going to be able to get in there and get involved.
What is he saying?
I have no idea.
No clue.
But
I'm
that's
not very good.
Oh, I can read lips actually.
Well, are you going to tell him to say it again? Because I don't think that's going to work.
I thought he was gonna say something, but
No,
he's not. Vinny's in the background. Shout outs to hi-rez Vinny. There he is. Don't make that face, Vinny. Vinny, one of our better admins here. Hurriwind in the mid lane.
Vinny's just the king. Dude, I was saying yesterday that if we had a sitcom about Skillshot, Vinny would be everyone's favorite character.
Oh, easily.
He's like the Joey of Friends.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like Joey very
Yeah.
much. So I think it's like Joey, and if people liked him.
Remember the spin-off Joey?
No.
was that a thing?
Neither does anybody else.
No.
That's exactly.
It's better
the
than a
point.
Chandler spinoff, right? Like it could have been worse.
He did have like a spiritual successor, believe it or not.
Could I want a Chandler spinoff anymore?
No, you
Stop!
are.
I just got that.
You are.
That was
my
a flawless Chandler line, and I'm getting only credit from Tolu.
I give it to you. I give it to you, Mr. Bing, Mr. Aggro Bing, our very own Chandler. Variety over there.
Google, thank you.
Google. Picks and bans. Aggro lost me there. I don't really know.
Because you said Bing. There he is. Welcome to the party, Tom.
Juggernaughts versus the Titans. Duck, duck, go. We'll see how this one works out.
Juggernaughts do have the first pick here, and it's been a lot of Freya, a lot of Naja, a lot of Baron.
Yeah, all the bands. I expect to see those bands as well. Athena
A lot
could
of
also
Athena.
be banned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Man, I'm between a rock and a hard place right now. These two are just giving each other the death stare, seeing who blinks first.
I
and
don't
I don't know what's
understand
going
what you're
on.
looking for from me in this spot. Duck, duck, go. You wanted credit for that?
Yeah, that's a search engine.
It is?
It's a search engine for those that are concerned with their privacy.
Oh, guess I should ask Jeeves about it.
Oh, that was sick. You should have just said Yahoo.
I'm not gonna.
You just should have went Yahoo.
I'm not gonna join in on this.
Baron band, Naja band, no surprises there. I want to see a Freya band as well. I think the one game that we got to see Freya pop off, she kind of popped everybody's expectations. Very different character, and it's funny. We were watching who was it, Snoopy player, and there were a lot of scenarios where the pros and I were sitting there going, he shouldn't have popped his 2. Like he should have just went up and smacked. And then we all sat there and were like, I'm probably still doing that in my gameplay. Just years of going, this is how I initiate with Freya, but she's very different now.
Very, very much so. And I think it is going to take some time to learn how to play around her properly. I think PBM had a good idea with going upgraded shell at level 1 to stop the empowered auto from passing through the entire wave and stopping that wave clear, but they ended up getting double killed, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to take some time, I think, before people are ready for new Freya.
Titans with their next ban. And honestly, I think Chernobog has to be the way to go. A lot of these players heavily prefer that kind of lane pressure. It's not just a global living nightmare that makes it difficult in the solo lane, but just the passive alone. If you're left in a 1v1, you're not going to win it against the Chernobog.
Churn over the Freya, you think?
Yes, I would definitely pick the Churn over the Freya. You got global pressure on top. You got a crazy big attack speed steroid for the late game, and you can easily build into magical defense than physical defense.
I don't think you ban either one here in this spot, right? Because you've got Funball on the Titans, and he's been a Freya main forever, even though she's a little bit different now.
Right.
I think that you can reasonably leave both open. I was going to say leave Serket open as well, and then take 2 out of the 3 that they don't go for.
Yeah.
Now you're basically trading Chernobog for Freya. And I think that if I'm on the Titans, they could have banned something like Thoth or, a Janus. And actually, Janus is open here for Hurriwind, and that's crazy that he has that opportunity. So Titans basically have to take Janus in this spot. I think Janus Freya is what I'd be looking for here if I'm on Titans.
They could still run Chernobog mid, so I understand why they would pick the Freya, but I would actually allow Freya to go through and then go for some anti-attack speed if they're going to heavy commit to these basic attackers, maybe even go Bologna, right, get the disarm, anything like that would really shut down that combination.
I think the worry there, though, right, is that they just go Freya Fafnir, and then it's like, oh, we have disarm, but we're in trouble. So it will be Freya Ravin, which Baskin played very well on the Ravin. Yes, if they could have gotten Janus Ravin for the Juggernaughts this game, we would have been on to game 2 in this spot. But it's crazy that they're letting Hurriwind get Janus because he looks like a completely different player when he gets this god.
He really does, and I think this is Titan kind of just saying to Juggernaughts, like, prove it. You know what I mean? We've seen you in your Pro League game with CLG and all of the help in the world. Do it with this team, which, I mean, you've got Scream. It's not exactly a slouch in the jungle, but I think anytime you've got different certain circumstances, scenarios, variables, you're sitting there like, all right, prove it in this case, because Freya and Ravin have done us very well in the past.
You also got to look at Zyrhoes, right? He looks like a different player playing the Janus as well. The way he abused Wolfie in that first game against the Thoth when Wolfie didn't really have much mobility, it's always going to be problematic. So having the ability to go through walls, having the threshold for your whole teammates, it's too good to pass up.
I do think that Janus is the top priority between these two teams, so I'm surprised that the Juggernauts didn't pick Janus right away, and they probably knew that they were getting Ravin or Janus or Freya, I suppose, but was still pretty risky in my mind. They'll go back to the Zhong, which Variety did not do very well with in their set earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he had his poor moments. He also had some very good moments as well. I love how quickly Juggernauts selected the Janus, and then they had to think about the Zhong.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like the Zhong Kui, despite the fact that he wasn't exactly numero uno in the last game. Rom for Titan.
Spicy picks. Are we going to be seeing some Freya? Where are we seeing Freya?
Probably Freya mid, I'd imagine. Zyrhoes also loves to play Freya overall, so I think that'd probably be the place that Titan would put her here. But I'm worried why would you take Rom? I don't think that's something that's getting banned.
Exactly. Like, why pick Rom right now? So I was going to say how I'm calling it now that Benji's going to pick Thanatos later. If it's not banned, that against the Zhong Kui, he likes that counter matchup. He likes to be aggressive and then look for that global pressure to affect the mid lane. But then the Rom threw me off completely.
Well, PBM and Scream have got to know that that's coming, and we'll either ban it or warn Variety of, hey, don't get solo to level 2, please. Like, just don't do that if you could.
Cerberus the ban here from Juggernauts.
Y'all mind if I don't get solo to level 2? That's what they're asking.
That's what they're saying. Please.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Please, just don't do that.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Variety. I don't think he wants to. I'm thinking about this. I know him a little bit. I don't think he wants to get solo to level 2.
Yeah, in some ways.
I actually spoke to Variety.
I'd probably have to look that up.
So I actually spoke to Variety. Like, if anything, if there's ever a time he wants to get soloed, it is at level 2.
Oh, really?
Not before or after. Just at level 2.
Why is that, Mr. Tully?
It's just a sweet spot.
I don't think you talked to him.
I think you are.
No, we're good friends, yeah.
I think,
talk all the time. What are you talking about?
I think that's a lie.
Prove it.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to check the internet. Terra, gonna be the pick for Titan. Kind of surprising here. Terra, so it's surprising to me because I just don't think that she's, numero uno these days. But against Zhong Kui, those stones do pop very quickly. And JeffHindla has certainly a very strong Terra individually.
It's really good against the Zhong Kui where you can easily root him out, immobilize him. It's good against the Chernobog because you know he's going to be dashing towards walls. You can set up a wall of your own and then crush him in and interrupt his Into Darkness dash. I like the Terra pick here.
I think because that JeffHindla has been playing so much Cerberus and Athena that this is his next possible best. And honestly, I still think that Terra might be the best support in the game just in a straight up 5-on-5 team fight, right? Like not looking for picks or anything like that, just because of the ultimate alone. The swinging of the damage.
So here for Titan, Thanatos is what we were talking, but with Ram, I kind of think we need a little bit more CC, especially considering Freya and Ram are going to be Dove, and the Hercules is I really like this choice. This is one of Benji's go-tos when he really just wants to stun on people. He's going to be out there just doing exactly that. I'm a big fan of what happened to Herc.
A little bit of a high execution setup, CC, not the easiest ability to hit in the game that pull from Hercules. If you hit it, then yes, you're going to be able to really start swinging team fights, but I think it's more inclined for Jeff on the Terra to set up these team fights and allow for Benji to clean up.
You're right, totally. I mean, that Earthbreaker isn't easy to land, but when it's on a target that's been Freya banished, that's
true.
You know when they're going to drop down, you know exactly where they're going to be. That is a great setup for the Hercules, who can then take that setup and set up the Freya again.
Benji's also been one of these guys that routinely you watch and you go, he's not going to hit that Earthbreaker, and he just guesses the juke every time.
Yeah.
It's like Hercules walks up and you're flipping a coin. You're like, all right, I'm going to go left, and he's going to go left or right. And Benji's just sitting there like, hey, I'm 3 seconds in the future. I know which way you're going to go. And constantly we see the lift. Yeah. So I don't have too many reservations about Hercules going to the side of Titan. Will it be enough to win, though, is the question we posed to Mixer Chat. Will it be orange? Will it be green? How you feeling, Aggro?
Green's my favorite color.
I know that. How you feeling, Tully?
I like Juggernaughts late game. Amaterasu, Mercury, Janus portals. I think Juggernauts should win game 1.
I mean, Juggernauts, they've got a nice draft. I'm looking at Titan. I'm a little concerned about the Ram. So last time we watched Funball play, they banned him out. That's why I think we see the Ram before pick number 2. Is Funball's Ram that was banned last time strong enough? We'll find out. The game coming here, it's Finch, and it's the best taco.
Thanks, Tom, Totally, and Aggro there on the desk. We're moving to the finals here of our eUnited Invitational. Juggernauts up against Titans, and there's action right away as Variety gets caught out here in the jungle. Fortunately, though, it was not going to be enough to find anything, not even to force out any relics. Everyone should be A-okay.
This weekend has been all fun and games so far, Finch, but this is the set where I think we're going to start to see some of that player sweat really start to come out, because these guys have been waiting all weekend now to finally have a chance to really compete for what's on the line here and what this land was all about in the end, outside of the just having fun measures. And I think that Titans have a really sound composition. Yes. I am actually leaning a little bit more in their favor if they have the appropriate execution. It all depends on that execution, and while it might not be the easiest to actually accomplish, these players are all talented enough to make it work.
Yeah, trying to make things difficult is going to be the PolarBearMike Amaterasu support. This is something that he likes to play, something he thought would be strong before Season 5 even started. Like, as soon as he, started to know what the changes were, and it's something that he goes to on occasion. He can play it very well. Those auras that she can give out when she changes those stances can be very strong, but the sprint comes out right away from Titans. They want to try and prioritize this clear as soon as possible.
Wise usage of the relics there, I think. Hindla being a little bit pressured out there from Mike, because once you see the horrific come through, you don't know if you're going to have to actually brawl inside of the creep wave, and nobody likes brawling inside that level 1 creep wave. I like that Funballer and JeffHindla made sure to maintain their player composure, not really let that horrific scare them off from the wave.
But it is good that they were able to force that sprint out. That means now they won't have to worry about that, because remember, JeffHindla invested into the upgraded sprint right away. He doesn't have the boots 1, unlike PolarBearMike, who just got with the tier 1 horrific emblem, but he does have that tier 1 of the boots for a little bit extra movement speed. Juggernauts going to try and put that to work now as they invade the purple. Looks like it should be safe, but they got to be careful. Baskin is nearby along with Zyrhoes because they're going for red.
Scream is close by also, however, and if Titans were to try and contest on that purple buff, I think Mercury would have easily been able to give his team a helping hand there. So Funballer and Jeff already had a slight experience efficiency in comparison to PolarBearMike and Arkkyl, but that's not a lead that they're not going to be able to recuperate from. They can probably have a little bit better contention on that purple buff for the next respawn of it.
Right.
Level 1, Terra clear, just not going to really match up to that of the Amaterasu.
And I was going to say we see Baskin, aggress on duo often, but we don't see Baskin do anything off from the jungle roll. But hold that thought as Baskin now gets thrown back in by the special delivery. But Hurriwind and Scream don't have enough damage to bring him down, not yet. But we don't have tendencies for Baskin yet in the jungle, right? This is something he doesn't normally do. But we did see earlier him show some aggression on Duo early. Might be he tries to come over there and try and work together with Hindla and Funball.
And this will be the real challenge for Baskin also, because Scream, jungler for the #1 team in North America currently, and that's not an easy matchup for someone who doesn't play jungle at the SPL level regularly. This is not Baskin's natural role. He's here trying to flex for his team because Jeff said so. Funballer, however, trying to flex away from Arkkyl's damage, gonna lose those purification beads because of that root off the crystallized curses.
He's just barely gonna make it out of there, but you're right, those purification beads being down could certainly be a problem if he were to get caught out here by Arkkyl and or PBM again. Both of the relics are back up, though. Sprint and Horrific have had time to come back up, but here's Baskin around the duo lane here early again. Juggernaughts, I don't think they recognize this is happening. They're going in aggressively. A perfect opportunity now with the sprint coming out as well. PolarBearMike is certainly going to be falling here for first blood.
And Funballer gets the credit for it. That's the worst thing that could have possibly happened for Arkkyl. All that pressure that Juggernauts duo have been able to establish so early on just quickly fizzles out. Nothing left to be done there. Just a really wise rotation out of Baskin, recognizing just how far up Mike and Arkkyl were still choosing to play. They felt like they had all the time in the world to hug that tower line, and it just got too baited, I think, knowing Funballer didn't have those beads and that he was still sticking around.
Yeah, that's a good point in that situation. They thought they could try and capitalize on the down relics, but instead they were the ones that got punished for it. And that's what you have to do if you're a jungler. You know, if you're duo lane, and it's not like they were behind by a lot, but if they're the ones losing pressure, it's kind of your job to be that safety valve, as now Variety's in trouble. The dunk from the Mystic Rush is strong. He is recalling demons and putting out good damage, but not enough. Benji gets Titans a second kill.
Duo lane still in a lot of trouble, however. Funballer trying to stay alive. Scream hugging death, but still manages to make it work. That's going to be a double kill over there in the duo lane. 1 kill to each, respectively. Arkkyl and Scream benefiting so heavily off of Baskin ganking the solo.
Yes, a much-needed response from the jungler here for Juggernauts. Scream coming over and using that special delivery right on the tower line as well and throwing them back out so they could get some more damage in. Just well played. But you're right, that was in response to, I feel like, Baskin and Benji going aggressive into Variety and Solo.
And I know I just mentioned that Funballer finding that first blood was a huge problem for Arkkyl, because the last thing you ever want to see is the ROM you had a little bit behind you start to catch up and have a lead or maintain even experience, because it's just late game versus late game. And when it comes down to it, Rom versus Chernobog, Chernobog's probably more favored to win that trade if he gets the Living Nightmare off at the right time, because then Funballer, you can't win that boxing matchup into the damage mitigation. It's just not a very feasible outcome for him to accomplish. But now he's stuck behind again, and Variety's going to get stuck inside that T1 power line there for Titans.
And this time he never even got to use an ultimate. Baskin gets the last hit. That'll be his first kill of the game, but his second successful gank, at least over here in the solo side, is Variety 0-2-0. A little bit slow to start. And Taco, I feel like this is kind of what you have to do against the Zhong. He's going to be so strong in the mid game.
And Baskin has to just continue aggressing in solo lane, because look what's happening on the opposite side of the map. Funballer and Jeff not able to steady out the pressure. They've been losing these buffs. This is the respawn cycles now, and Scream just here to collect. It's cyclical.
They're going to keep coming back over each time and time again. But that's kind of the question, right? Does this duo lane get enough pressure and get far enough ahead to make up for the fact that Benji's now about 2 levels up over Variety and Baskin looking comfortable? This is one way to answer that question, or at least look towards Gold Fury, but they can't feasibly get this one done. Not with Baskin still nearby, and Zero's able to make the rotation over. They give up on it and just grab their own farm.
They don't want to overextend by any means. Juggernauts are in a pretty comfortable position with how much pressure they have spread across mid and duo. Solo obviously suffering a little bit more so because Scream has not been attending to Variety nearly as much as Baskin has with Benji. But that's just a part of the sacrifice. Juggernauts are looking to play around mid and duo as Hurriwind tries to defend his T1 tower. Zyrhoes looking to go back in, but Scream catches him out with a nice Sonic Boom.
A great job baiting Zyrhoes back in from Hurriwind there, and then a great ultimate from Scream. They don't really have any follow-up. Baskin goes aggressive, but Special Delivery catches him at the tower line, and PolarBearMike gets the last hit to shut him down. Welcome to the jungle roll. Not quite as easy as you might have thought.
That's the problem with Janus. Baskin thought he had it with the Mystic Rush. He was hoping for a trade at the very least. PolarBearMike, though, might be the return kill that Titans were seeking out all along. Zyrhoes catches him with the whoop. This should be the end of it for PBM, and sure enough, just like that, Zyrhoes answering back with the 1-for-1.
And that's actually rough for Juggernaughts here, because that was a great play they were able to make happen in the middle lane, with Scream coming in with his ultimate. Hurriwind, I feel like, is the one that kind of bait Zyrhoes back in, and PolarBearMike gets the kill, but now they give that kill back over to Titans yet again, and now they don't have really a chance to have map pressure, the numbers advantage they could have had to start looking around the farm.
That fight came probably a little bit later than what Juggernauts wanted, and now, because of it, they're not going to be able to maintain the same pressure. Speaking of which, Variety trying to not get solo, but it's not going to be enough here. Benji taking down the Zhong.
Not going to let the Zhong be comfortable in the solo lane. And I love this aggression from Benji. Of course, he's in this position because Baskin has shown quite a bit of attention to the solo lane, yes, but Benji excellent once he has that pressure, and he's not going to give up on it. Scream wants to come over and at least try and defend, but Benji not even going to make that easy for him as he's being very carefully positioned.
Scream doesn't want to get tossed, pretty much. I don't think that it would go very well. He's 2 levels behind Benji as is, and speaking of which, Baskin just lost half of his health. PolarBearMike looking to continue to engage. A nice evade off of that means that he's going to avoid everything from Scream, and Baskin's still alive.
The overhead kick is what initially keeps him alive. I think Scream might have been just a little bit short on the ultimate as well, and then had to dash through, and Made You Look wasn't on the mark either, so just barely. Baskin, fortunately, able to make it back out of that one of those 9 lives he seems to enter the game with, and he'll be able to make it back to base quite safely. But again, this execution from Scream on the Mercury with these ultimates from way out of the picture, they've been great. It's
been very precise, and speaking of precision, Hurriwind with a nice unstable vortex means that Mike's going to find a kill onto Zyrhoes, and it's not over just yet. PolarBearMike's going to get a double kill, and through space and time connecting, just to remind Baskin we're still here.
Yeah, this could have been here had it been needed, but just in case it wasn't, man. Hurriwind, there's a reason why they like to see this guy on this god in particular. And remember the picks and bans, they snapped it in the second that they realized that Janus is going to come over to them and be available. And he's been playing well in it so far because there's been pressure there in mid lane. Funballer cannot handle the pressure. He falls to PBM.
Funballer didn't even get the chance to ult. He was trying to channel that Astral Barrage to buy himself a little bit more time for Baskin to help out, but now Arkkyl looking to aggress onto Baskin. Overhead kick going to be necessary, and the Mystic Rush force out to avoid PBM's ultimate. Absolute disaster over here in duo now.
No, but this is a good response. PBM goes in too far with his own ultimate, and the stun from JeffHindla sets up for Baskin to come in and find the kill. PBM gets baited in just a little bit too much there and ends up falling.
A little bit of a break being caught there for the Titans is...
And not the first time, yeah.
Not the first time in the slightest, but now Benji could be in some trouble. At least his blue buff will be. His Scream makes quick work of that blue buff invade, and
an even quicker exit, right?
It's just so much you can do. Benji will probably still continue to look for invades on Variety's blue buff, so it's not like he's going to really be missing out on that mana control or the 10% cooldown reduction. He's got a 3-level lead also, and this is where I want to start seeing a little bit more rotation capabilities out of Benji, because he's clearly had full control of the soul lane. Wouldn't be surprised if he starts making those rotations happen now that he's confirmed the T1 tower over there.
I'm with you. It's good that the Titans have been able to keep even without Benji. Benji's kind of like their ace in the hole now. Now they bring Benji over and they can rock lead, take off those weights, because this is where their lead really is. And you can see him coming over and getting due by taking those beads away from Hurriwind, already having the impact. That's almost enough, really, just coming over and taking those beats.
That's one way to make an entrance and remind the Juggernauts that you haven't seen me all game because I've been working on that tower. Now that I've got this lead over Variety, Benji will probably just be looking to dominate and control whatever aspects of the team fight that he possibly can. And this is where it could be very problematic for Arkkyl, because ideally you just want to see Benji staying right on top of Arkkyl, forcing him into the wall with that dash, forcing him to just stay away.
PolarBearMike is the furthest forward again, has to use that dazzling offensive defensively, but the shots from Funballer are really good. Baskin dunks up for the follow-up, and PolarBearMike's down. Now Scream has to retreat. His ultimate was good to at least get off a stun or two, but can they follow up? He catches Baskin, puts him up against the wall, has the punches, but they're not enough. Overhead kick to get away from the major look, but through space and time brings in the rest of the team.
It's the re-engage on the backside. Everybody kind of forgot that Zyrhoes was still hanging out over there. And now Benji looking to re-aggress, finds a great driving strike. Baskin with the blink over the wall, finishes it off with the Piranha onslaught.
Yeah, once Benji gets over here, man, this is a whole different game. Arkkyl gets rooted, drops the boulder, not quite enough to get the kill, but I don't think Benji's gonna be deterred by one single tier 1. He chases Arkkyl down, now he's got variety in his sights with a 3-level lead and a pull to boot, a double kill for Benji, a monster here in the game.
Can we just vote for the MVP right now? Because it is Benji. Benji has been reviving Titans. This team is definitely, I don't want to say they've been brought back from the dead because this game was relatively even, but the amount of impact he has actually had on the match from the brief 3 minutes he's been involved in these team fights is insane.
It's really is impressive, and you were saying that, you know, they weren't coming back from the dead, but they were even when they really shouldn't have been, because they were playing with really without their biggest asset, as PolarBearMike just barely makes it out thanks to a nice portal there from Hurriwind. Titans did a great job to stay even with Juggernaughts without Benji. Then when he came in, that's when it kind of blew open.
And to clarify on what we mean by the match was even, it's not so much that the experience or the gold was all even across the board,
right,
as so much as it was Benji's lead over Variety making up for the gold and experience deficiencies elsewhere that alluded or made it seem as though this game was going to be a really tight one between these two teams. But once Benji's become a factor, it's going to take some time for Juggernaughts to recover from that siege.
They're going to need a way to try and find an answer, and some farm for Variety couldn't hurt, as Gold Fury now being looked at by the Juggernaughts. JeffHindla is nearby. Baskin has a chance, but doesn't use the Mystic Rush. He lets the Gold Fury go and looks for the kills instead. First, he puts Scream into the ground, but he's not done chasing just yet. Got the Earth and Fury, wants to try and find Hurriwind, but he's made it back out. Now he'll meet PolarBearMike instead.
Juggernauts should be out of there, no problem. Sure, they might have lost the life of their jungler, but that's Scream problem now. Right now for the Juggernauts, they just want to continue finding whatever else they can farm in order to make up for having lost that gold. And I like what they've done so far. Taking out the T2 towers in mid just limits the escape routes that Juggernauts have available to them. And now the speed buff invade is just adding salt into Scream's wounds.
This should be fairly clean for Titans, and it is, but most of the punishment this game so far from Titans has been onto these frontliners for Juggernauts, right? For Variety on the Zhong, for PolarBearMike on this Amaterasu, and they're kind of, you know, pseudo frontliners anyway. They certainly can fill that void, but it's not like the Hercules or a Geb or something like that. So them also taking a bunch of deaths is kind of, I feel like, made things even a little bit worse.
You're working on a timer, essentially. Whenever you go for the Zhong solo or the Amaterasu in the support role, you're clearly flexing the level amount of protections that you're actually going to have available to you. And sure, you can always build full defense, but that won't necessarily make you just as tanky as a Hercules. And
right.
I think that's the real difference maker here, is just Variety was just held back for so long in the early game. Letting Benji have essentially a free lane might have been a little bit of an oversight on Scream's end, but you almost can't fault Scream. You can't get mad at him for it because he was doing such a great job capitalizing on dual lane ganks.
Yeah, and that was, and he had to come over there to try and make sure that he can keep, you know, PolarBearMike and Arkkyl out in front. When they did establish that lane pressure, I mean, Arkkyl still is a little bit out in front of Funballer. PolarBearMike is still out in front of JeffHindla, a little bit in the experience column. But unfortunately, Baskin was able to have such an impact for Benji early, and then once he had that 2-level lead or so, Benji expanded on that and put Variety even further behind. It's made things very tough for the Zhong, the same level as the Amaterasu and Scream, when typically we see our solo laners be way out in front. And Titans want to turn that into a Pyromancer, but they're going to do it through Variety and PolarBearMike.
Just these two alone, though, is all it really takes to get this Pyro down to half health. Now with a couple more members from Titans looking to help out. Hurriwind trying for the steal. But the unstable vortex, I believe it was just shy of
I
connecting.
think so. I think it was just short is really the only problem. I think his timing was dead on. But now Baskin closing the distance. Mystic Rush over the wall. Aegis hand beads keep him alive. Hurriwind drops the unstable vortex, which is avoided with that overhead kick, but Hurriwind will make it out. Scream did a great job peeling for him.
It's not over just yet.
know
you
about
went
that.
to the wrong neighborhood. This isn't your jungle anymore, boy. And JeffHindla and Benji letting him know. And they're going to take the red buff to boot.
Taunting his teammate there a little bit is Benji, isn't it? And it's curious that PolarBearMike went in there at all. It looked like he went in just to drop the horrific and maybe try and slow them down, but it only ended up serving up his own life on a silver platter. Now Variety has to be careful. He's going to drop down the ultimate because Scream's coming through with a nice stun, but JeffHindla tanky enough to withstand it all, and now Variety is seeing a light show he doesn't want to.
Jeff, though, can't juke out Arkkyl's auto attacks. Arkkyl will manage to find one for Juggernaughts in return as Baskin now trying to weave his way in and out of the fights. Major Look gonna collect him, though, by Scream. Arkkyl loses the purification beads, but he manages to escape from Benji.
But now Funballer's here. He finds a nice kill for himself onto Scream to make things 2 for 2. But PolarBearMike doesn't want to let it in there. Finds the stun. Unstable Vortex off the mark. The PBM might be able to get this done on his own. The roll comes out from Funballer, but at this range, the auto's too strong. Benji hits him with the driving strike. PBM has to run away, but now Hurriwind does get caught by the Banish, and Benji's right there to clean up.
Perfectly played there by Funballer. I don't think he could have done that any better. Gets the rollout to connect for the cripple shot, which cuts off Mike's dash just shy of what would have killed him. No doubt in my mind that that would have killed Funballer on the spot. And because Funballer stayed alive for just a couple seconds longer, that allows Benji to work his way closer, buy some time, peel for him. And not only that, but Zyrhoes also comes all the way back from base. He was left that fight very early on and didn't really have a choice in the matter. I just got poked out a little bit too early and had to wait for his time to regress.
Yeah, and Zyrhoes is going, it looks like, at least the ring route with this build, and they're getting JeffHindla to sort of back him up a little bit with that Shogun's Kusari for a little bit of extra attack speed too, so that's going to be the idea. They really want it to be Zyrhoes and Funballers bring out this damage, but so far, they haven't even really needed that much from them because of just how much work Benji and Baskin have been able to put in these fights, up at the top at least of the damage charts for their own team. Not to say that Zyrhoes and Funballer haven't been doing their job, it's just that they haven't even really been called on yet.
Check out that second relic also from Benji. We haven't even had a chance to touch on it. Thorns, not exactly something we see all the time nowadays, but hold that thought because Titan's pulling this Gold Fury. Looks like a fight's about to ensue.
Through space and time, does clip Zyrhoes, and Scream wants to capitalize on it, but the shell keeps him alive. Funballer is right there to punish. Now Arkkyl wants to come in, has the ultimate available to him, but Zyrhoes goes right up into the air with the Valkyrie's discretion. Arkkyl can't have enough damage. Zyrhoes is going to make it back out, just barely alive. Now can Variety get some work here up against Funballer? No, he can't, not with Baskin there in support.
They're just all wiping, chasing around this Freya. They're so concerned about limiting Zyrhoes that they kind of forget we still have to survive for the duration of the other 4 members in this fight. Hurriwind now does have the cooldown just in time to get across the wall with that portal, so Baskin won't be able to find another kill onto the Janus there. But a 3-for-0 response is everything the Titans could have possibly asked for.
And that was 2 ultimates onto Zyrhoes and like extended engagement and chase, and they still couldn't catch him because it's the through space and time from Hurriwind that clips him initially, and then Scream drops the ultimate on him as well, and still can't quite find enough damage.
The way that Titans collapsed into themselves, though, to body block so efficiently for Zyrhoes,
yes,
that's what really makes the difference between SBL level play and like your ranked game. Speaking of which, Titans, they found Fire Giant and PBM. They found him too.
Unfortunately, could not steal that one away. A nice body block keeps him from dashing in or silencing anyone relevant. Scream not going to get stunned. He dashed out, but FG now available for Titans to go along with their 5,000 gold lead. And they want to add to that with this tier 2 tower here in solo. No one around to contest. Should be a nice, easy secure.
I think the big thing for me here, and another reason why Titans have been so successful with this, is that they have just been playing their composition a little bit more to their strong suits. Titans have consistently found picks, whether it be 1 or 2 members from Juggernaughts, and that's prevented Juggernaughts from having a full 5-on-5 team fight. I don't think we've seen any just raw 5v5 moments between Juggernaughts and Titans. And the ones that have been all even have just been so heavily in Titan's favor because of Benji. Scream will collect that Mad Guy's cloak proc though for free.
It looked like Benji was happy to give it up though, as he spent a little bit more time taunting there instead of worrying too much about Scream, who just dashes right on out of there. But why shouldn't he? My man's level 20, the only one in the game, 7-0-7, a part of 14 kills. Really can't do whatever he wants here at this point. That'll include adding a Gold Fury to their list of accomplishments. They already got FG and the Pyro, it looks like, and now they can start grabbing some more towers over here in duo.
Funballer's got that Poison Star finished off now, so that 50% attack reduction is going to be a little problematic here for Juggernaughts. They're already struggling to find the damage needed to finish off some of these kills. Mostly looking at Zyrhoes in that instance, but knowing that they are going to have to worry about these Poison Star procs and the slow on top of all that, if Benji's not even letting Juggernaut split push T2 tower.
They're trying to make things hard for him, but Taco, I mean, what can Juggernauts do to try and slow this Titan down? I mean, Titans are coming in off a 2-0 in their last set, and they were the one that most recently played, so they might be a little bit more warmed up. If they were to win this, they'd have won 3 games in a row with this composition, or with this team, and they've got to be feeling confident. I mean, Juggernauts got to find a way to put the brakes on.
It really just feels like Baskin and Benji have found their groove, and
yes.
I think the best way to try and cool things off a bit is just to force them to wait it out a little bit longer in a match. Titans have just been on the go since the very start of this match, and I don't think that Juggernauts have really even had a moment to think about what their next step is, because it feels like they're always just responding to the aggression out of Titans.
Definitely, it's been Titans that's been, you know, dictating the pace, I feel like, throughout this game, and Zyrhoes really is going all in on the attack speed Freya build here this game, and it's been working for him. I cannot say that it hadn't been, so that's going to make things even worse trying to deal with both the Ram and the Freya here this game. As Scream charges up the ultimate. Left side Phoenix is going to be the call. They got to defend it here. They can't give up anything else.
Someone's always got something to say when it comes to builds, but I think at the end of the day, whatever you're comfortable with is usually what can work best here. Scream now charging up that Sonic Boom, wants to connect onto a few members, but he's just having to cancel it out.
Earth and Fury does come out onto everyone. A 2-man stun from Scream, and Major Look removes Zyrhoes from the fight early on. This is big for Juggernauts. They got to find a way to capitalize. Hurriwind has to use Aegis, but Arkkyl falls. Funballer does track down Hurriwind as well. 2 for 1 so far. Now Scream stuck on the wrong side of the fight. Can no longer help either.
But Baskin's able to keep up with him just because he's got that Musune. It's giving him the movement speed that he needs. Scream will end up falling there to Baskin on the backside as the Phoenix ends up falling for Juggernauts. Everything is collapsing all at once, and Variety's just getting added on top of the pile.
He falls. PolarBearMike had to dash away on his own, and it's looking like this might just be the game in favor of Titans. 3-0 for them. They cannot seem to be slowed down at this point. PolarBearMike going to do what he can, but Titan now at 50% HP. In fact, they're going to get the deicide and make Benji divine. 9-0-9, and Juggernauts just couldn't slow him down.
There was just no one in Benji's path this game. It almost felt like there was just, even with a whole team, they still weren't going to have an easy time taking down Benji. He was just left uncontested for the entirety of Game 1 here between Juggernauts and Titans.
And as strong as Benji looked, and I think Benji could certainly have had a great game on his own, Baskin gave him a lot of attention. It might be worth trying to take him off this Robin, I'm thinking, because he looked very comfortable on it last set, looked comfortable on it here. Again, this is not his role. We got to force him to show that he can go a little bit deeper and play some other stuff too.
I'd be very surprised if Baskin actually managed to get Robin for a Game 2 performance. I don't think that we'll see the Robin from him. I don't think he'll get Sir Kit either. It's going to be challenging because as these matches progress, teams can learn a little bit more about a player, and even one like Baskin, who isn't traditionally in this role, you can kind of get a feeling for what his motives are throughout a match or throughout a set, as long as you just keep playing against it.
And he had great recognition, I feel like, to sort of just let the duo lane tread water, right? To let the duo lane figure out what was going on, because they did lose a lot of pressure over there to PBM and Arkkyl, but that didn't force him to come over there. He instead went to go make sure that they kept down Variety on that Zhong. It sounds like chat has already said that they wanted to be Benji as their MVP here this game.
We didn't even need to run a poll for that,
do we need to? I'm right there with them.
I don't think that a poll is even necessary on that one.
And to be fair, you asked for one in the middle of the game.
That
let's just make it Benji
completely
now.
correct.
So.
Well, I think that's more of a statement, though. Like, Benji is the MVP. It was very evident. And while Baskin did help to assist and make sure
Yes.
that Benji was a superstar, I love that Titans chose to just forfeit worrying about their duo lane. You understand when you have a Terra there, level 1, you're not going to have all the pressure in the world.
We'll get it back over to the desk then, Tucker. Let them break it down a little bit further, because again, it's going to be 5 games. Some adjustments got to be made.
Thanks a lot, friends. Nice stuff there. Both teams, both casters. I think this is going to be a fun finals.
Man, that was a really, really strong performance, though, from the Titans. I mean, Baskin continues to impress as a jungler because, of course, he does. But Benji just played better than Variety that game, and it was really clear.
It was also his item build, going for the tier 2 boots to start off. He wanted to kind of teleport back to the lane with tier 3 boots. Variety did a good job in terms of delaying that back from happening earlier. I think he stopped him from backing for about a whole minute, but once those boots came online, it was just easy peasy. Like the extra 40 power, just the ability, like the scaling from Hercules is so good with Driving Strike Excavate. You don't even need a gank from Baskin from time to time.
Yeah, the Herc just looked out of control. It was that last one that we saw versus Variety, I think, that really tilted a lot of us in Benji's favor. Just his control of that lane was really impressive. His decision-making was really impressive. And, I mean, what can you do? It's Benji on Hercules, and sometimes the game just feels like that.
It just felt pretty over once he got those boots and gets a solo kill. And that same sort of boots 2 and the teleport back finish boot strategy is what he uses whenever he plays at Thanatos.
Yes.
And that was a big part of why they liked it against the Zhong is because it gets you in a position to solo him very early on. Except with Thanatos, then you're trying to snowball the game very quickly because you're going to fall off. With Hercules, it's like, we're good. Like, we've already done the work. We don't need to worry about anything else because now we've got this unkillable frontliner, and you've got things like Freya following up off of it. I mean, the damage from Baskin and from Funball was there. Because of Benji's frontline capabilities, it made this game look pretty easy.
Going back to the build, though, I mean, starting out with the boots, you don't have that Warrior's Blessing, right? So you're losing some of that healing and you're losing some of that tankiness, but I think Hercules can kind of fill those holes by himself.
And the thing is, you're not taking that much damage from Zhong anyway at the end of the day, especially early game before you get the penetration from Spear of Magus. And his second item, the Runic Shield, is what really shut the door down for Variety. He had no potential comeback, and the timing of this Hercules pick, it was last pick, no Circuit, no Nemesis to speak of. Those are your number 2 counters, and it allowed Benji to do almost whatever he wanted.
That's a great point. The Runic Shield hits the Zhong on 3 fronts, right? Because now you're doing way more damage to him because he's got physical power as opposed to going something like a Genji's Guard that doesn't give you any power. You've got magical protection, and you're subtracting from his power. So he's doing negligible damage to you whatsoever. Remember, coming